Got a special guest coming up now.
We do. We have Jay Abraham. So Jay Abraham is the $21.7 billion man. My gosh. So much money he's generated for 10,000 clients in, what is it? A thousand industries.
1,000 industries.
It's
that by
insane.
itself is mind-boggling.
Here is your daily dose of the Ultimate Sales Machine coming to you from the new edition. Visit ultimatesalesmachine.com to get your copy or multiple copies. I am your host, Amanda Holmes, CEO of Chet Holmes International. What you're about to learn has assisted 250,000 businesses to generate billions of dollars, working faster, better, smarter.
So lots of different questions I'm sure everybody would love to ask Jay. I asked him specifically, what is the biggest thing that has generated the most amount of revenue for your clientele? And hear what he had to say.
I would say it's what I would call marginal net worth and an allowable cost. Most people allocate either commission to salespeople or marketing or sales budgets very erroneously. They either pick a figure out of the air or they use a percentage that is predicated on last month or last quarter or last year's sales, and you're either spending too much or too little. When you realize that all prospects aren't worth the same, all kinds of buyers aren't worth the same, all sources of buyers aren't worth the same. When you analyze very granularly what different categories, sources, types of buyers are worth in the first sale, the second sale, the third sale, and then you realize the aggregate profit they represent either in real yield or strategically, because some products don't make you any money, but they give birth to all the other ones, then you have an idea of how much you cannot spend, but rather invest. Most people, Amanda, are what I call, pardon me, 2D thinkers versus 3D. A 2D thinker says, okay, I did this much revenue this month. I had this much expense, so this much profit. And that's a 2D. A 3D says, I've invested in these prospects or these assets called buyers. How much more yield? What's the return I'm going to get ongoing, not one time, but over time on them? When you realize this concept of allowable cost, you have an unlimited budget. If I say to you every time, let's say that you have, let's say I'm selling a bottle of water, and I know that every 10 people that buy this bottle, 6 of them are going to buy a case. And of those 6, 4 of them are going to buy a case every month. And of those 4, 3 of them are going to buy not just a case, but 2. And of those 4, 3 of them are going to buy not just 2 cases, but they're going to buy another case of sparkling. And the total, every time I sell 10 people one, or whatever my number was, one bottle, I'm going to make, let's call it $50,000 on this $3 bottle. Then I've got a lot more I can invest to sell this bottle. I don't really care if I make money selling this bottle. I don't even care if I lose 3 times, as long as I have cash flow, because I'm going to recoup it in month 2 or 3. And most people, very sophisticated people, get that, but even getting it, they don't look at correlations, implications, anomalies in their selling system. They don't really analyze. Give you an example. I taught theory like this to somebody, and they increased their business from 2,000 buyers to 500,000 because they saw that they had an unlimited budget. And when they allocated a lot more because they saw the back end they were going to get from it, it transformed their whole business. I also, this is very interesting, I had 2 very large automobile dealers as clients. One's the largest Honda Acura in the world, and the other was, they sold it, the largest Mercedes dealer in North America. And there's 2 stories that show the power of different kind of thinking. The big car dealer made over $1 million a month by realizing that when somebody is in the service department, it's the perfect time to sell them another car, because before they make an expensive payment to fix their car, you can absorb that and trade them out. He also realized that the concept of car selling is flawed because car dealers tend to be democratic. If I have 10 salespeople, Amanda, every time somebody comes in, they automatically rotate to the next salesperson, the next, and the next. But it's very non-strategic. If you, for example, are 3 times better at selling a truck than I am and making maximum ethical profit. And I'm 4 times better at selling first-time buyers, but you get first-time buyers and I get truck buyers. Does that make sense? And this one guy, the other guy, came back from listening to this methodology, and he looked at what's called his finance insurance, F&I, which is a very huge moneymaker in a car dealership. And he had 2 managers, one during the day, 9 to 5, and the other 5 to 9 and Saturdays and Sundays. And he looked at performance. And the nighttime one was producing $2,500 per sale profit. And the daytime was only producing $1,500, $1,000 less per transaction. But the daytime guy who was producing 1,000 less was getting 90%, or excuse me, 75% of the sales. And the other was only getting 25. And just by changing their work schedule, the guy made an extra 150 grand a month. So there's a lot of ways to just think differently.
What? This guy is like Yoda.
Do not try, just do.
Jay is very
he's
smart.
Brilliant. You
Yes.
introduced me to him, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
That's great.
Make sure to get your copy or copies at theultimatesalesmachine.com. There's a lot of special bonuses that you can't get going to Amazon, so make sure you check it out at ultimatesalesmachine.com.